On the eve of the college entrance exam, my childhood sweetheart fell for a delinquent jock. She glued herself to him, skipped the test for his sake, and gave him the most precious thing she had. I couldn't watch her spiral, so I told her parents. It blew up his father, beat him half to death, and he vanished without a trace. Years later, at our wedding, my childhood sweetheart learned he'd died and torched our new home. You're the one who killed him. It should have been me and him standing here! Go to hell and atone! The blaze lit up the feral twist of her face. When I opened my eyes again, I was back in senior year. Please, my favorite childhood friend, help me out, okay? Just a little white lie, tell my parents I went to the library with you. Her voice sharpened into focus by my ear. I yelled and jerked upright. The pain of burning bled away like a receding tide. Staring at that pretty face in front of me, I instinctively took a step back. Jessica Miller instantly bristled. Luke Dawson, if you don't want to, fine. But what's with the scared look? I don't bite. I stood there, stunned, and it hit me. I'd been reborn. Seeing something was off, Jessica grabbed my wrist and shook it hard. Luke, what's wrong with you? Don't scare me. The worry on her face looked real. But 10 years later, she burned me alive for Jason. That was real too. Jessica was my childhood sweetheart, soft and bright as moonlight. On the first day of freshman year, she stood on stage in a white dress, bowing a violin with elegant poise, and walked straight into the hearts of half the boys below. Everyone called her the school's white moonlight, the dream girl you could admire from afar, but never hold. And me? I was the one every guy envied. Jessica was quiet and slow to warm up, keeping everyone at arm's length. Everyone except me. Our families were neighbors and saw each other all the time. When we were little and her parents were swamped with work, they'd often drop her at my place. Classmates joked, "Lucky dog, you've got the inside track. When you two get married, don't forget my invite." I thought I was different. I thought Jessica and I were meant to be. Until Jason Smith showed up. He was a school athlete with a chip on his shoulder and a lousy record, but a face so handsome Jessica fell with a single look. She went crazy trying to get close to him. In my last life, I caved to her pleading and helped her lie to her parents so she could relax and hang out with Jason. From then on, Jason was always on her lips. I've never seen anyone with that broken, fragile vibe. He's so pitiful, lost his mom young, and his dad's a drunk. He's got no sense of safety. He says I'm his only light, that I'm the one who brightens his world. Hearing it made me sour inside, but there was nothing I could do. Jessica drifted away from me and clung to Jason. She started cutting class, and even blew off the first big mock exam for him. Then I saw the campus goddess, blissed out smile and all, hanging on Jason's arm outside a filthy, dodgy motel. That night, when her parents asked where she'd been, I told them the truth. Jessica's parents were livid. They stormed the school and threatened to call the police. Jason's dad blew his top and beat him mercilessly. No one could stop him. After that, Jason disappeared from our youth. Everything seemed back on track. Years later, Jessica and I walked into marriage. At the wedding, a drunk classmate laughed and said, "Remember Jason? After he dropped out, he started working at a club and went wild. Last month, a rich woman's husband slashed him to death. It even made the news look. Jessica went paper white. That night, while I was drunk, she set our home on fire. You're the reason he died. I could have saved him. He and I could have had a great future. Marrying you was just settling after I'd had my fun finding a chump to pick up the pieces. Luke, you're a straight-up simp. Every day with you was torture. Now I'm finally free. Ha ha ha! Go to hell and pay for your sins!" The flames carved a monstrous mask out of her face. I never imagined she'd nurse that grudge for years over Jason. Her manic laughter was the last thing I heard. Maybe heaven heard my silent scream, because it gave me another shot. Jessica touched my forehead. You okay? Did waiting out here freeze your brain? I shook my head. Under her hopeful gaze, I said slowly, "Go hang out with Jason. From now on, after evening study, I won't wait to walk you home." Jessica frowned, surprised. "Luke, why so petty? I can't have only one friend. Jason's actually great if you got to know him. You'd like him too." She thought I was sulking. "I know you all think he's just a thug, but it's because of his messed up family that he went off track. I'm going to save him!" That was exactly how she approached him last time. Later, she told me, "Stop meddling. Jason's right. If we don't play now, then when? When we're 70? Youth is for burning. Life is short, grab what joy you can." When she gazed into the abyss gazed back. She saved no one. Jason remade her instead. This time, I chose to bless her. Then good luck. I hope you fix him. Just then, Jason stepped out of a side alley and headed straight for us. Those cold, predatory eyes locked on me like I'd stolen something from him. He told Jessica, "I'll walk you home." She ignored him, staring at me instead. "Luke, what is with you today? You're acting weird." I kept my mouth shut and quickened my pace toward home. Behind me, she stamped her foot. "Why the attitude? If you won't wait, then don't. Who cares? You'll be begging to hang out with me later. Nerd." I genuinely wished her well. In this life, let her chase what she wants. I'd respect her fate. In my last life, I wasted too much of myself on Jessica. The college entrance exam is a single plank bridge. With a million people rushing across, there's no room for a split mind. I ended up at a bottom-rung elite university when I could have done better. Now there are less than 4 months left. This time, I'm going all in. And then Jessica came looking for me. The moment she showed up, every eye in the room slid our way. The baggy blue school uniform couldn't hide a bit of her beauty. If anything, it made her look even fresher and prettier. My desk mate nudged me with his elbow, waggling his brows. "She's definitely here for you." Sure enough. Jessica came straight over and handed me a paper bag. "My mom asked me to give this to you. She brought it back as a gift from her business trip." I kept my head down, scribbling through problems on scrap paper. Just leave it. Tell your mom thanks for me." Jessica didn't move. When I finally looked up, she was frowning, scolding me. "Luke, I carried this all the way for you. Aren't you gonna thank me?" I kept it short. "Thanks." She glared, bit back more words, and walked away. My desk mate leaned over. "What, you two fighting? I wondered why you stopped walking home together. Man, the goddess comes over to make peace and you brush her off? Give her a break already." I flatly denied it. Nothing like that. But word of Jessica seeking me out quickly reached Jason. That afternoon after PE, a basketball smacked the back of my head. I spun around. Jason stood there, face dark. "Fight me! If I win, you never get near Jessica again!" I said. "Get your facts straight." I didn't want to waste words. I needed to get back to my drills. But he snapped. "What? You saying Jessica's chasing you? Don't think just because you grew up together she'll ever like you. Take a good look in the mirror. Jessica would never like a useless loser like you." Loser words that cut deep for any guy. Even more so when inside I was already a grown man. Jason slugged me, jeering. "Loser, come on." My glasses flew off, the world blurring. His punches were fast and vicious, but I wasn't helpless. I'd been frail as a kid, and my mom made me take Taekwondo. Jason fought with nothing but brute force, no technique. We traded blows, neither gaining ground. Then Jessica screamed and rushed over only to slap me across the face. My cheek burned, my first slap in life. She'd put her whole strength into it. Her palm was red, her arm trembling. She glared at me, furious. "Luke, what the hell is wrong with you? Why are you bullying Jason?" That hateful stare looked like she wished me cut into pieces. Jason, meanwhile, got the opposite. Jessica bent over him gently, worry written all over her face. She rose on tiptoe, blowing softly against his cheek. I had to admit they looked good together. Handsome boy, beautiful girl, anyone would sigh at the sight. "Does it hurt?" she asked anxiously. Jason shrugged. "I'm used to it." Jessica's pity deepened. To defend him, she stomped on my glasses until they shattered. That pair had been a gift from her, bought with the prize money when she won a violin competition at 16. Her mom had said Jessica spent ages picking them out, agonizing over which style I'd like, which would look best on me. That girl put more thought into this than any gift she's bought from me or her dad. Jessica's ears had flushed red as she scolded. "Mom, stop!" Back then, I treasured everything she gave me. In my last life, I even saved those glasses, planning to tell our child someday the story of our love. Looking back now, it was laughable. Jessica jabbed a finger at my face. "Luke, you're a total bastard, a heartless freak. I'm telling you, we're done. We're not friends anymore. Oddly enough, hearing that didn't hurt. I just found them annoying. I got up, dusted myself off. Those glasses were from you, fine if you wanted to break them. That slap, I'll let it go. But next time, I won't be so generous. Keep your Jason away from me. I'm busy. I don't have time to star in your tragic teen drama. Jason was dead weight, and only Jessica was naive enough to think she could save him while barely keeping afloat in senior year. If she wanted to play savior, that was her problem, not mine. Jessica declared a cold war on me. Whenever she saw me, she looked away, treating me like I was invisible. She'd always been like that. If I upset her, she'd clam up until I apologized and begged for peace. This time, I enjoyed the quiet. My focus on studying grew sharper. Soon enough, the first big mock exam crept up. I studied hard and felt good about it. Afterward, classmates gathered to argue over answers. Someone suddenly said, "Hey, did you hear? Jessica skipped the exam. Nobody saw her all afternoon. Her homeroom teacher's searching everywhere." Jessica had always been a campus star. Even though we weren't in the same class, I constantly heard news about her. Once someone mentioned her, the group dove into gossip. I found it pointless, packed my stuff, and went home for dinner. Halfway there, Jason appeared, arm around Jessica. She looked completely different. Waist-length hair, chopped short, heavy makeup, black lipstick, but beautiful, no question. Jason puffed up proudly. She gave up the exam for me. Would she do that for you, Luke? You're just a loader! I snapped. It's loser! Embarrassment flickered across his face. I'll say it however I want. None of your damn business. Just stay a bookworm. No girl will ever like you. Did he really think all girls were as shallow as him? Jessica leaned into him, declaring, "Jason, now do you believe I love you most? I'll give up anything for you. Don't ever threaten to break up again. Without you, I can't live." Jason actually looked moved. He squeezed her hand, dropped to one knee. "Jessica, you're the light heaven gave me. Thank you for shining on me." I rolled my eyes and walked off. Behind me, they hugged and kissed like a cheesy drama. Later, to cover her absence, Jessica even faked an injury, claiming she'd fractured her right hand and couldn't take the test. Her mother was frantic. "What are we going to do? How will you study? The college exam's right around the corner." Jessica just shrugged. "So I'll repeat a year? Big deal. Mom, I'm smart. One more year and I'll do even better." Her mother only sighed, then turned to beg me. "Luke, your grades are great. Please help Jessica whenever you can." When the scores came out, I'd made the top 10 in the whole grade. In my past life, my best score had only hovered just outside the top 10. Now, my homeroom teacher looked at me with real approval, saying I might just be this year's dark horse. Before I could speak, Jessica burst out, "No, I don't want him teaching me!" Her mom's face tightened with embarrassment, so she tried to smooth it over. "Well, true. Luke's in his final year too. He should focus on himself." My mom was beside herself, red-eyed as she asked Jessica if she was in pain. She'd watched her grow up, treating her as half a daughter. But Jessica only laughed brightly. "Auntie, it doesn't hurt at all." Once the adults left, she sneered at me. "Don't think I'm pathetic. Love stops pain. This little injury is nothing. You're just a bookish nerd. Don't let my mom's praise go to your head. And don't come looking for me anymore. I don't want Jason getting the wrong idea." Then she grabbed the orange my mom had peeled for her and tossed it straight in the trash. "I won't eat anything you give me. It's just as disgusting as you are." I didn't take her words to heart. I was still riding high on the joy of making the top 10. If my mom hadn't dragged me along, I never would have gone to see her. After her fractured right hand, Jessica became even bolder, fooling around with Jason every day. One Sunday, while cooking, my mom suddenly said, "Luke, go get Jessica to come over for dinner." I resisted, but she frowned. "What's going on with you two now? Jessica's hand is broken, her parents are away on business, and she's all alone at home. Poor girl. Be a man, be generous, go invite her. Come on, listen to me." In her eyes, Jessica was still the sweet little girl who used to curl up in her arms. I thought for a moment, then stepped outside. I'd just circle around, come back, and tell her Jessica wasn't home. Jessica lived right next door. From inside, I heard muffled laughter and teasing. I was a grown man now. I knew exactly what was happening. I turned to leave, but the door flew open. Jason stood there bare-chested, a cigarette dangling from his lips, the air heavy with a certain smell. 4 eyes, enjoying the show. You know you gotta pay for that, right? Behind him, Jessica was fumbling with her buttons, hair a mess, cheeks flushed, neck blotched with obvious marks, and her right hand was perfectly fine. So it was all an act, no fracture at all. What stunned me was their nerve, daring to do this with no one home. Jason shoved my shoulder, eyes sharp. Stare any longer and I'll gouge your eyes out. What? Never seen a woman before, idiot? Jessica rushed over, warning me. Luke, don't you dare tell my parents, or I can't promise what Jason'll do to you. Her lips were swollen, marked with bites. I chose the path of least resistance. My mom asked you to dinner. If you're not home, then never mind. Jason smirked, kissed her, blowing smoke into her mouth. As I left, I tossed one last line. By the way, better not mess with me. Otherwise, I just might slip up. Without Jessica dragging me down, my progress was lightning fast. Then one day, after the college entrance medical check, a rumor exploded. Did you hear? Jessica was found pregnant during the exam. She looked so pure and aloof on the surface, but secretly, Jason already stamped his brand on her. Ha! Just then, the class rep came running, breathless. Luke, the homeroom teacher wants you in the office! I was baffled. Someone smirked at me. No way, the model student too? You look so proper, but maybe you're not that clean either. I frowned and snapped. Watch your mouth. He just grinned. What? It's nothing shameful. That's the school goddess, man. You scored big. I ignored him and headed out. Just outside the door, I ran straight into Jessica's father, storming toward me. I instinctively greeted him, but he kicked me to the ground. Luke, you little bastard. He tried to strike again, but Jessica's mom pulled him back. My mom, flustered, stammered. There must be some mistake. Luke's always careful he'd never do something like this. She turned to me, panicked. Luke, say something! Explain to your uncle what happened! Jessica stood behind them, eyes red, feigning despair. When she saw me, she smirked defiantly. She didn't want Jason blamed, so she pinned it on me. I pushed myself up and said clearly, it wasn't me. Her father's face turned crimson with rage. You little punk, too scared to admit it? I'll beat you to death. I treated you like a son, and this is how you repay me. My mom blocked him. It's a misunderstanding. Come on, you know, Luke, you've watched him grow up. Jessica's father roared. You think Jessica would slander herself to protect him? Jessica played along, burying into her mom's arms, sobbing. Luke, how could you? You coaxed me into it. This baby is yours. Students crowded the hall, pointing. So it's Luke's? They were always close. My goddess, how could you fall for him? They probably did it long ago. It's just showing now. Teen boys are hormonal. Everyone knows. Luke looks decent, but he's rotten inside. No guts, no responsibility. Terrible character. The crowd was all against me. Jessica cried louder, flinging more filth my way. Luke, you tricked me! You said you loved me! Now you won't even admit it. Are you even a man? If I'd known you were like this, I'd never have been with you. I stayed calm, sneering. Why don't we check the neighborhood cameras, see exactly who you brought home? Or better yet, call the cops. Have them check the motel behind the school. Was it me or Jason who went there with you? Jessica's face drained of color in an instant. All she'd done was spin a shoddy lie to shield Jason. Full of holes, sure enough. Hang around with idiots and they'll drag your IQ down. Jessica was the proof. Soon the school summoned Jason's father. Unlike last time, he didn't beat his son. He was grinning ear to ear, boasting in the office. Just let her give birth to my grandson nice and safe. Jessica's father slammed the desk. Have a baby? They're still kids themselves. Jason's dad chuckled sleazily. Kids can still get into bed. Your daughter's so... Before he finished, Jessica's father dropped him with a punch. Jason's dad already had a temper, and Jessica's father was furious. The two of them went at it instantly. Not a shred of adult dignity remained. The office was chaos until the principal and staff managed to pull them apart. Jason's dad spewed filth nonstop. Jason swore, I'll take responsibility for Jessica. The words were barely out before her father slapped him hard. No one stopped it. Everyone thought he deserved it. Jason's dad just smirked. Hit me all you want. Once you've cooled off, we'll talk about my grandson. Jessica's father's fist was about to fall again when Jessica rushed in front of Jason, chin up. Dad, then hit me! It wasn't just his fault. I wanted it too. I did. Jason moved to tears, fell to his knees before her parents. Uncle, Auntie, please bless us. We truly love each other. Jessica knelt beside him, weeping like a flower in the rain. Dad, Mom, only with Jason have I learned what real happiness is. I really love him. In that moment, everyone else became the villains standing in the way of their love. Only Jason's dad was triumphant. Come on now. Abortions wreck the body. These two lovebirds should just hold the wedding now. Get the license later. The earlier their parents, the earlier they'll finish life's big milestones. Then they'll enjoy life sooner. What's not to like? But young parents who don't know the world, and children forced to grow up confused what joy is there to enjoy. Besides, it's not your baby. You can control your daughter, but her child is her decision. Jason's dad spent his days drinking and raging, but when it came to twisted logic, he had plenty to spare. Jessica actually let his words sway her. Yes, this is my child, a living being. Who are you to strip him of his right to be born? I'm his mother. If I say he's born, then he must be born. Her father, seeing that stubborn face, lost his temper and slapped her. How will you raise him? What about your own life? Her cheeks swelled red and high. She all but screamed through tears. I don't care! I'm having him! I will! From then on, Jessica never came back to school. From next door, all I heard were constant fights. He's not his father! He's different! I'll be with Jason, not his dad! As long as Jason treats me well, that's enough. But even Jason couldn't escape the shadow of his family. And with her naive savior complex, what could she possibly change? Jason started showing up often, though he was always thrown out. Once, Jessica's father doused him with mop water on his way out. Jessica hurried to help him up, wiping his face with her sleeve. Jason, are you okay? It's my dad's fault he's too rigid. There's nothing wrong with you. To me? You're the best! I happened to be walking home from evening study when it spilled over onto me. Jessica glared at me. If it weren't for you, would we be like this? What would it cost you to stand up for Jason? My dad wouldn't give you trouble. Luke, you're so selfish. She really had the nerve to blame me. Staring at her unreasonable expression, I suddenly remembered long, long ago. The time I flunked a test and she comforted me. We'd lain side by side on the track, looking at the stars. She asked, Luke, what kind of future do you want? I thought and answered, a home that keeps out the rain, a job to support my family, and a partner who supports and cares for me. Then I'll play violin forever. If you can't make it, I'll support you. That night, her eyes shone brighter than the stars. Such a childish promise. She forgot, but I still remembered. Now it felt so distant, like it belonged to another life. Even if you all oppose me, I'll overcome every obstacle to be with Jason. I'll prove to the world we're right. Bang, I shut the door. Peace, at last. After all that chaos, my parents had no patience for their family anymore. How dare they smear our son? He's obedient and decent. How could he ever do something so low? If I'd raised a daughter like that, I'd cut her off completely. Their words turned prophetic. The day her father took Jessica for an abortion, Jason's dad stormed the hospital, raising hell, crying, screaming, threatening to hang himself. He swore if anyone touched Jessica, he'd jump and die right there. No doctor dared, and the procedure was delayed. For days, he camped outside the building. Jessica joined in with a hunger strike, forcing her parents' hand. Her father was at his wit's end, torn between work and home, failing both. Her mother wept daily. Before long, Jessica ran off with Jason. The night they eloped, I was buried in my books, hearing the noise downstairs and glanced outside. Under the pale moon and buzzing cicadas, a penniless boy pulled along a reckless girl, running headlong into the distance. It sounded romantic enough, but life would teach them otherwise. Without money, without skills, and with a baby on the way, I couldn't even imagine the hardships waiting for them. Even the sweetest love is battered by reality. Later, I heard that on the night they ran, Jessica slipped her parents sleeping pills to make sure. Her mother, with a heart condition, nearly didn't wake up. Her father gave up on her entirely, swearing to cut her off. "She's dead to me! I raised an ungrateful dog all these years!" He tossed all her belongings out. One day, passing the dump, I saw her violin with a broken string. Once, it had dazzled on stage, treated like treasure. Now it lay in the dirt, ruined and abandoned. I didn't look again. I lifted my head to the sunrise and kept walking towards school. Their figures faded from my youth. The farce finally ended. Time slipped past the window. That summer, I achieved my dream, admitted to Peking University, the year's biggest dark horse. My homeroom teacher grinned until his face nearly cracked, praising me nonstop. My parents threw a grand banquet, inviting friends and relatives. Cousins I hadn't seen in ages gathered around, asking me for advice with reverence. The adults told them, "Learn from your big brother. Maybe you'll catch some of his smarts." The lively scene brought tears to Jessica's mother's eyes. If only Jessica hadn't. Jessica's father barked, "On such a joyful day, don't bring up that curse of a girl." She tried to ruin his life, and you still think of her? After Jessica smeared me, her parents apologized to me many times. That stern man even bowed deeply, saying sorry with all sincerity. I thought he was pitiful enough I never blamed him, and even tried to comfort him. Jessica's father stared at me for a long time. The man who had always stood so tall suddenly seemed aged in an instant, eyes quietly reddening. Years later, I got a call from far away. "Luke." That familiar voice, it was Jessica. "Yeah, it's me." Her voice hitched. "Can you reach my parents? Their numbers don't work anymore." I answered, "They changed numbers so you wouldn't bother them again." "No, that's impossible. How could they?" On her end came the sound of a child crying, followed by Jessica breaking down. That New Year's Eve, Jessica knelt outside a door, a half-grown child behind her, screaming hoarsely, "Dad, Mom, come see your grandson! Please let me in! I know I was wrong! I really know I was wrong." Even when her forehead split and bled from kowtowing, the door didn't open. She never knew her parents had already moved away. Her father was a man of pride after all that had happened. He couldn't stay there pretending nothing had changed. My mom told me Jessica's mother was pregnant again. Selling the house meant she'd moved on from the shadows and was ready to raise a second child. Everything was settled. We were all moving forward. Only Jessica was still trapped in that summer at 18. I didn't see her again until many years later. I was on the street, answering a call, when I noticed a couple arguing. "Is that kid even mine? He looks more like your ex every day." "I don't have an ex." "Don't lie, you. And that childhood sweetheart of yours definitely had a thing. Don't think I don't know." Before she could defend herself, the man smashed a bottle. The crash turned heads all around. The woman froze, trembling. Her reaction seemed extreme, but soon I understood why. The man slapped her hard, then punched and kicked her. "That second kid doesn't even look like me! You slut! I drink and you nag? Mind your own damn business, whore!" She covered her head, taking the blows silently. Clearly, this wasn't the first time. I couldn't stand it anymore and stepped in. The man snarled, "None of your damn business, get lost!" He grabbed a stool to smash over her. I lost my patience. Snatched up a bottle. "If you want to fight, go to a boxing ring. She's your wife, not a punching bag. Lay another hand on her and I'll call the cops." "Bitch, count yourself lucky." He spat threats, then slunk off. The woman lay on the ground, sobbing uncontrollably. I sighed, handed her a tissue. Endless tolerance only invites worse abuse. Without warning, I turned to leave. Then I heard a tentative voice behind me. "Luke?" I turned, surprised. She rushed up, grabbing my arm. "It's me, Jessica! The Jessica who grew up with you!" Only then did I remember. Time had blurred her once radiant image in my mind into a faint shadow. But that shadow didn't match the woman before me. She had changed. Too much overweight, weathered face, timid and subdued. Nothing like the gentle, luminous girl she once was. Jessica sighed. "You still look the same. You haven't changed much at all." She glanced at her roughened hands and gave a bitter laugh. "Not like me?" I asked. And that man just now was... I couldn't even recall his name. "Jason. It's him." As she said it, her eyes dimmed, and a sigh slipped from her lips. She smiled bitterly. He's no different from his father. Her words unlocked old memories. I remembered her younger self, defiant, vowing, love stops pain. Jason is Jason. His father is his father. He's not the same. But what difference was there, really? Parents are a child's first teachers. What parents are, their children become. Those without proper guidance must spend years correcting themselves, relearning how to walk straight. Jason clearly lacked that ability. He had become the very man he once despised. Jessica covered her face, tears pouring through her fingers. What kind of life have I been living all these years? How could I have chosen him? I nearly killed my own mom! I was such a fool! Such a fool! She suddenly looked up at me, like a drowning woman clinging to a straw. Luke, I regret it. I really regret it. Is there any chance for us? Could you take me? Her words froze when she saw my wife behind me. My wife had just finished shopping, one hand holding bags, the other slipping naturally around my arm. She smiled. A friend of yours? Yeah, an old classmate, I answered. She offered her hand to Jessica. Jessica hesitated, then awkwardly shook it. You two talk, Luke. After greeting her, my wife straightened my collar gently. I'll wait in the car. Jessica's voice trembled. She heard what I said, I replied. Isn't trust what love is supposed to be built on? Jessica stood there stunned, as if struck by lightning. After a long pause, her voice cracked. I had a dream. A long one. In it, I never left with Jason. I got into a decent college, graduated, found a job. People came and went, but after all those twists and turns, I still met you again. And she trailed off. Flowers may bloom again, but youth never returns. Back then, she'd had countless chances to fix her choices. She never took them. Time passed, and now it was too late. What her parents and books hadn't taught her, life had. Jessica, the road was yours to choose. You can't blame anyone else. I can't help you, but the law can. I didn't want to say more, as I had so long ago. I simply offered a blessing. Good luck. I need to go. My wife is waiting. Jessica was silent a long time. Then she ran after me, voice breaking. The one standing beside you should have been me, right? If only I could live life over. Then I stopped her. Maybe you can. But you can't live on fantasies. You have to look forward. Live the life you want. Work for it. Change. Be reborn. Embrace your future. Compared with anything else, study is a safer, steadier path. But in her prime years, she chose indulgence. The road ahead would be harder than her peers. Still, that didn't matter. As long as you choose to change, it's never too late.